One vegetable on this list looks like an ugly, bumpy rock, but cut it open and it tastes like sweet celery. Here's the catch, almost no one grows it. Today, you'll discover 13 rare vegetables that save money, grow fast, and change your garden forever. Let's start with number 1, main body 1. Celeriac looks like an ugly, bumpy ball covered in rough brown skin. Most people walk right past it at the store because it looks so strange, but don't judge it by its looks. Under that rough skin is a soft, white flesh that tastes like celery, but softer, milder, and a touch sweet. You can boil it, mash it like potatoes, roast it in the oven, or slice it thin into soups and stews. It grows underground, just like a potato or a turnip. It needs a long growing season, so gardeners usually start the seeds early indoors, weeks before the last frost, then move the young plants outside once the weather warms up. Here's why it matters. Celeriac stores incredibly well. You can keep it in a cool, dark place for months without it going bad. This means you can grow it just once in the season and still be eating it fresh all through the winter. That's real money saved at the grocery store and real food security for your home. But if you think celeriac already sounds strange, wait until you see number 2. This next plant is often called a weed by most people, and they rip it out of their gardens without a second thought. Yet it might be one of the healthiest vegetables you could ever eat. 2 purslane grows almost everywhere. You've probably seen it before, sneaking up in cracks in the sidewalk or popping up uninvited in flower beds. Most people pull it out and throw it straight into the trash. But smart gardeners know better than that. Purslane has small, thick, juicy leaves that store water, kind of like a tiny succulent. The taste is slightly sour, a little salty, and very refreshing. You can toss the leaves raw into salads or cook them lightly with garlic and olive oil for a simple, tasty side dish. Here's why it matters. Purslane is one of the few leafy greens that naturally contains omega-3 fats, the same healthy fats found in fish. On top of that, it barely needs any care. It grows even in dry, poor soil in hot weather that would wilt other plants. For a lazy gardener or a busy one, that's a huge win. Now, if purslane already surprised you, get ready for number 3. This vegetable is shaped like a small alien spaceship, and somehow it grows both above and below the ground at the same time. 3 kohlrabi looks like nothing else in the vegetable world. It has a round, swollen bulb sitting right above the soil line, with tall, leafy stems shooting out of it like little antennas. It really does look like something from outer space. But don't let the strange shape fool you. Once you peel away the tough outer layer, the inside is crisp, juicy, and tastes like a cross between broccoli stems and a sweet apple. You can eat it raw, sliced into sticks for dipping, shredded into slaw, or cooked gently like you would a potato. Here's why it matters. Kohlrabi is fast. Most types are ready to harvest in just 6 to 8 weeks from planting. For new gardeners, that quick turnaround means you get to see real results soon, instead of waiting months and months for a harvest. But speed isn't everything in the garden. Number 4 is a vegetable that grows a little slower, yet rewards your patience with the most beautiful bittersweet flavor you can add to any salad bowl. 4. Endive is a leafy green vegetable with a bold, slightly bitter, crisp bite. At first glance, it looks a bit like lettuce, but look closer and you'll notice tighter, curlier leaves with more texture. There are a few different types. Some are curly and open, almost like a green firework. Others grow in tight, pale heads that stay protected from sunlight. Endive is often mixed into salads to add a bold flavor that plain lettuce just can't offer on its own. Here's why it matters. Endive actually grows best in cooler weather. That means you can plant it in early spring, before most summer vegetables even go in the ground, or again in the fall, after the summer heat has passed. It fills the gaps in your garden calendar when other plants are struggling or resting. Speaking of vegetables that thrive when others struggle, number 5 is a root vegetable most people only know from tacos and Mexican dishes. But it grows far better in a home garden than most people expect. 5 jicama is a large root vegetable with tough, brown, papery skin on the outside. It doesn't look like much sitting in the dirt. But cut it open, and you'll find crisp, white flesh underneath that tastes sweet and refreshing, almost like a mix between an apple and a raw potato. Most people eat it raw, sliced into sticks, sprinkled with a little lime juice and chili powder for a snack that's crunchy and full of flavor. Here's why it matters. The jicama vine doesn't just give you the root. If you let part of the plant grow young pods, those pods can also be cooked and eaten, similar to green beans. That means one single plant can give you two completely different foods. That's double the value from a single seed packet. Now let's move from a root that hides in the ground to a leaf that climbs straight up. Number 6 might just be the toughest, most heat-loving leafy green on this entire list. 6. Malabar spinach. Malabar spinach isn't a true spinach at all, but it acts like a supercharged, tropical version of it. This plant grows as a vine, climbing happily up trellises, fences, or any pole you give it. Its leaves are thick, glossy, and slightly fleshy, and they taste mild, almost like a milder version of regular spinach with a hint of pepper. You can cook the leaves just like normal spinach, adding them to soups, stews, or quick stir-fries. Here's why it matters. Regular spinach hates the heat. It bolts, turns bitter, and dies once summer arrives. Malabar spinach does the opposite. It actually loves hot, humid weather, and keeps growing strong right through the summer months when your other greens have already given up. That means fresh salad greens all season long, even in the hottest weeks of the year. If you like that heat-loving green, wait until you hear about number 7. This next plant actually grows in water, and it's a favorite in Asian cooking for a very good reason. 7. Water spinach. Kangkong, water spinach, also known as kangkong, is a fast-growing green vegetable with hollow stems and long, arrow-shaped leaves. True to its name, it can grow in wet, soggy soil or even directly in shallow water, which makes it a perfect fit for humid, tropical climates. It's most often cooked quickly in a hot pan with garlic, ginger, and a little chili, giving you a simple, tasty side dish that pairs well with rice. Here's why it matters. This plant grows back again and again after you cut it. You don't need to replant it every single time. Just snip off what you need, and in a matter of days, fresh new stems and leaves will already be growing back in its place. That means less work for you and a steady, ongoing supply of free food from a single planting. From a plant that thrives in water, let's now talk about one that thrives in the cold. Number 8 might just become your new favorite green for winter salads. 8. Chicory. Chicory is a leafy plant with a bold, slightly bitter taste, similar to endive but often even stronger and more intense. Some types of chicory form tight, pale heads like the well-known Belgian endive style, grown in the dark to stay pale and mild. Other types grow loose and leafy, more like a bitter lettuce. Interestingly, the root of the chicory plant can even be roasted, ground up, and used as a coffee substitute, giving you two very different uses from one single plant. Here's why it matters. Chicory handles cold weather extremely well, and it can survive a light frost without any damage. This means your garden doesn't have to go completely empty once the temperature starts dropping. You can keep harvesting fresh, crisp greens well into the colder months, long after your summer vegetables have finished for the year. Now here comes the vegetable I promised you earlier in this video. Number 9 is loved across Asian cooking, and it's known for one wild trait. The more bitter it tastes, the more it's believed to be good for your body. 9. Bitter gourd. Bitter gourd, also called bitter melon, looks like a bumpy, warty cucumber with deep ridges running down its skin. As the name clearly says, it tastes bitter, quite strongly at first. But that sharp bitterness softens once you learn how to prepare it properly, usually stir-fried together with eggs, or stuffed with a mix of spices and other vegetables. It grows on a climbing vine, so it's best to give it a trellis, fence, or some kind of support to climb up as it grows. Here's why it matters. In many cultures, bitter gourd is well known for supporting healthy blood sugar levels, and it's often used as part of traditional home remedies. Growing your own means you always have a fresh, ready supply on hand, without paying the high prices that specialty grocery stores often charge for this unique vegetable. If bitter gourd felt a little intense, get ready to cool things down. Number 10 is a soft, mild bean that chefs all around the world are completely obsessed with right now. 10. Edamame. Edamame is simply young soybeans, picked and harvested well before they have a chance to turn hard, dry, and mature. To prepare them, you boil the whole pods in lightly salted water, then pop the soft beans out with your fingers, one pod at a time. The texture is soft and slightly firm, and the taste is light, mild, and a little nutty, which pairs well with almost any meal or snack. Here's why it matters. As edamame plants grow, their roots actually pull nitrogen from the air and add it directly back into the soil. This means the plant doesn't just give you food to eat right now. It also improves the soil for whatever you decide to plant in that same spot next season. That's a rare kind of vegetable that gives back more than it takes. From one type of bean, let's move on to another. Number 11 is a cold weather bean that has been grown by farmers for thousands of years, yet many home gardeners today have still never even tried it. 11. Fava beans, also known as broad beans, grow inside large, thick, fuzzy pods that hang down from tall, sturdy plants. Inside each pod sit large, flat beans with a rich, buttery, almost creamy taste once they're cooked. You can boil them, mash them into a spread, or toss them into stews and soups. Some gardeners even pick the pods while they're still young and tender and eat the entire pod whole, much like a green bean. Here's why it matters. Fava beans actually grow best in cool weather, during a time of year when many other vegetable plants simply can't survive. That means you can plant them in early spring, sometimes even before the last frost has fully passed, and enjoy a full harvest before the heat of summer vegetables even begins to grow. Now let's slow things down just a little. Number 12 is one of the fastest growing vegetables on this entire list, ready to eat in less time than it takes to finish a full school week. 12. Cress is a small, delicate, leafy green with a sharp, peppery bite that wakes up your taste buds. It's often grown on a wet paper towel, in a shallow tray, or in a small pot of soil on a sunny windowsill. This makes it one of the easiest plants in the world for beginners, or even for kids, to grow successfully on their very first try. Once it's ready, you simply snip the tender green tops off with a pair of scissors. Here's why it matters. Cress can be ready to harvest in as little as 10 to 14 days from the moment you plant the seeds. That's faster than almost any other vegetable on this entire list. For someone brand new to gardening, that quick, easy win can be exactly what keeps them motivated to keep growing more. And now, we've saved a true favorite for the very last spot. Number 13 might already be sitting inside your kitchen fridge right now, but growing it yourself completely changes the way it tastes. 13. Arugula, sometimes called rocket, is a leafy green vegetable known for its sharp, peppery flavor that adds a real kick to any dish. It's a popular topping on pizzas, mixed into fresh salads, or layered onto sandwiches for extra bite. The leaves are thin, tender, and delicate, with a jagged, slightly rounded edge that makes them easy to recognize once you've seen them growing in a garden bed. Here's why it matters. Arugula grows incredibly fast, often ready to harvest in just 3 to 4 short weeks from planting. Even better, it regrows again after you cut it, giving you multiple harvests from that same single planting. For a beginner gardener looking for quick, rewarding results, that's about as good as it gets. Outro, and that's all 13 vegetables that truly deserve a place in your garden this year. From strange, hidden root vegetables like celeriac and jicama, to fast-growing, peppery greens like cress and arugula, there's something on this list for every single type of gardener. No matter your space or experience level. You don't need acres of land and you don't need years of practice. You just need a little soil, a little patience, and the right seeds to get started. So go ahead, pick just one of these vegetables, plant it this season, and watch closely to see what happens. Your garden and your kitchen table might never quite look the same again.